For the first time in 7 months, more than 1 million passengers in the U.S. went through TSA checkpoints in a single day. That milestone reached yesterday signifies progress since the darkest days of the pandemic for U.S. airlines. Still, we have a long way to go to catch up to the old crowds. By comparison, on the same day last year, 2.6 million Americans went through TSA checkpoints. And one of the reasons the airline industry was so crushed by the pandemic was a fear among travelers of getting infected in closed airline cabins.
Well, now a new study finds it is much safer than we originally thought. But as medical reporter Meg Ferris explains, there are still reasons not to let your guard down.
The new study is from the U.S. Department of Defense. Using a mannequin, they found that 99.99% of particles released in the air from an infected person wearing a surgical mask were removed from an airplane cabin within 6 minutes. Now, keep in mind it takes 90 minutes to clear particles in the average home. So we turn to Tulane public health epidemiologist Dr. Susan Hassig for her analysis.
In the perfect conditions that were indicated by the study, one is relatively safe. I think safer, but not safe.
So let's look at the study limitations. The mannequin spreading the aerosol particles never took off her mask, always faced forward, and never moved. Now consider real human behavior. Masks come off to eat and drink. You go to the restroom, you get something out of the overhead bin. Children cry, take off masks. You turn and talk to others. So, you still need protection.
You have to mask. You have to still be very aware of surfaces and hand contamination that you could bring to your eyes or your nose or your mouth.
So with these new promising results, would you now travel by air?
I just would not feel comfortable until there's a vaccine.
It's getting better and safer. I think they take a lot of precautions, for traveling people, and I think we're doing a little better.
I would not feel safe right now. I wouldn't do it. Yeah. Maybe probably till next year.
I would prefer if everybody wore a mask. I just feel like it controls the virus.
I feel safe on the plane.
Why?
Because we got a mask. I don't usually get on a flight that long.
And Dr. Hassig says that's another important point. In a shorter flight, there will most likely be fewer people moving around the cabin or eating meals. Meg Ferris, Eyewitness News, Medical Watch.
Well, the study was done in Boeing 767s and 777 aircrafts. The doctor says newer aircrafts will have better filtration technology.